Today we are going to discuss strategic management process. So let's get started. Elements in a strategic management process. Strategic management process consists of a number of elements which are discrete and identifiable activities performed in logical and sequential steps. So there are 20 different identifiable activities which we have identified, and these are necessary, and these has to be performed or completed in a particular sequence. As many as 20 different elements could be identified in the models provided by various authors. Now, first part is establishing the hierarchy of the strategic intent. So this is related to something about setting objective, vision, mission. So first step is within the A part is creating and communicating a vision. Vision is a long term goal. So vision is, we have studied in the last previous videos, that vision is something uh, which is somebody who can see the future. Someone who can see beyond what is obvious. So suppose some tomorrow, some next technology is coming to the smartphone. Then some company, suppose LG, is visualizing that that is the future and implementing that technology in their smartphone. So this is a very good vision that they have foreseen. They have seen the future, and they understood the technology which is the future of the telecom industry, and they immediately implemented in their smartphone category. Designing a mission statement. After vision, you need to define what why you existed and how you are benefiting society. Then you have to define the business. Within that, you have to define the business model, how you are going to generate revenue, generate profit. Then adopting the business model, then setting objectives. In B part, in formulation of strategies part, you have to the first step is performing environmental appraisal. So strength, weakness, opportunities, threat, your suppliers, the pastel analysis, that part is there. Doing organizational appraisals. So after environmental appraisal, which is uh, outside external factors, after then you have to focus on the internal factors, that is organizational appraisal. In an environmental appraisal, you will talk about opportunity and threats. In organizational appraisal, you talk about strength and weaknesses. For then you have to formulate corporate level strategy, then you have to formulate business level strategy, then you have to undertake strategic analysis, then you have to go for the exercising strategic choice, then you have to go for the preparing strategic plan. Next is in C part, you have to think about implementation of the strategies. Then you have to activating the strategy. You have to the next 13th step is activating strategies. 14th step is designing structure, systems and processes, which are very essential. Process is uh, very important. If you are implementing right processes, uh, most probably you will get this success. Then next is managerial behavior implementation. Next is managerial functional implementation. The next is putting strategies into operation. The last part is performing strategic evaluation and control. So in this we have at the 18th number, we have performing strategic evaluation, exercising strategic control, and reformulating strategies. So this is little bit control, measure, evaluation, judging part. So something which we have implemented should be tested, and defects, errors should be checked, and measures should be implemented. Again, the process should be run, and defects and errors should be removed, and a continuous improvement should be done in the process. So whatever we have discussed, we'll discuss in detail. In the first step, in strategic management, first step, we should have strategic intent. Strategic intent lays the we have strategic intent, that is vision, long term vision, long term goals. So strategic intent is nothing but the long term goals. The strategic intent lays the foundation for the strategic management. So when you think about the future after 5 years, 10 years, what your company should be, then you start doing working on acting on the strategic management. So vision, mission, business definition, business model and objectives are established. So in first step of strategic management, you define vision, mission, business definition and business model. Vision serves what the organization wishes to achieve in the long run after 10 years. Mission relates to organizational its existence, organization benefit to the society. Then next is the business definition explains customer needs, customer groups, and alternative technology. So it you should have done research on the customers. You should have defined their requirement needs properly. Then you should have identified target group, and then you should have find out what are the technologies which we can use to achieve this, to solve this problem of the customers. Then you have to think about the business model, that is how the organization creates revenue and profit. The next is you define the objectives, that is what is to be achieved in the given time period. Objectives are the yardstick and benchmarks for the measuring organizational performance. Now in the second step, environmental and organizational appraisals need to be done in identifying opportunities and threats operating in the environment. So what are the opportunities, what are the threats? Suppose you are HUL, Hindustan Unilever company, so what all opportunities you have in different categories that you have to identify in India. What are the threats? Suppose Patanjali is coming in, suppose any other company like Himalaya is also coming in the FMCG sector, Amul is diversifying. That so some companies they may act as a threat to your organization. Then you have to talk about strength and weaknesses. Strength and weaknesses are internal to the organization, like employees, resources, then your plant problems at the plants, behavioral problem at the employees, managerial problems in the management of operations, the production, the problems with the machineries, people, raw material. These are the internal factors. So they can be your strength. If they are not performing well, they can be your weaknesses. But opportunities and threat can be external, like government rules and regulation, then FDI, then opening of the market, different markets. These are the opportunities and threats. Then opportunity should be availed as early as possible, threats should be neutralized, strength should be capitalized, and weaknesses should be minimized in the second step. In the third step of strategic management, formulation of strategies takes place at 4 levels. So here we define strategies: corporate level strategy, business level strategy, functional level strategy, and operational level strategy. Corporate level strategy relate to the strategic decision to manage a portfolio of the business. So strategic decision taken at the company level, what positioning should be, what kind of advertisement should be, how brand awareness should be increased, like that. Then business strategy aim to develop competitive advantage in the individual business that a company has. So suppose you are a HUL, Hindustan Unilever company, and you have different plants like Fair and Lovely plants, then Lux soap plants, Ponds product category plant. So at these plant, whatever the competitive advantage each brand should have, each product should have, will be discussed under business strategy, business level strategies. Then there are methods to pursue these strategies through strategic alliance or merger and acquisition. So there are different strategies to achieve these targets. Next is fourth level strategy, fourth level of strategic management, where strategic alternatives and choices are required for evolving alternative strategies. So we in the we as a marketer, we think on whether there are any alternatives which we can use for the current strategies that continuously has to be checked. Out of the many possible options and choosing the most appropriate strategy, or so we have a lot of options. We have to select the best one. Strategies. Okay. The process used for choosing strategies involves strategic analysis and choice. The process used for choosing strategies involves strategic analysis and choice. So definitely, when you are choosing a particular strategy, best strategy, some kind of analysis should be there. The end result of this set of elements is the strategic plan to be implemented. So at the end, you should have strategic plan. So at the fifth step, for implementation of strategy, just a minute. So we were discussing fifth step. For implementation of the strategy, the strategic plan is put into action through 5 sub processes. So in fifth step, we have project implementation, then procedural implementation, then resource location, then structural implementation, behavioral implementation, then functional implementation, and procedural implementation. So here, majority of part is implementing your strategic plan. The sixth and the last step is appraises the implementation of the strategies. So whatever strategy you have implemented, you evaluate critically and understand its strength, weaknesses, try to find out errors, try to fix the errors, try to measure the impact, try to measure the efficiency and effectiveness. So you measure the organizational performance, then you get the feedback, and you exercise the strategic control. Strategies may be reformulated also if required. So this is all regarding strategic management process. Thank you so much for watching this video.